Did you know that if you can still do some simple things after 71, you're already ahead of 90% of people your age? That might sound like a bold claim, but it's absolutely true. These aren't dramatic feats or impossible challenges. They're basic, everyday abilities that quietly define the quality of your life. They don't require medals or applause, yet they're powerful markers of resilience, independence, and strength. In today's article, we'll explore 5 surprisingly simple things that, if you can still do them after 71, show you're doing better than you probably realize. These aren't about perfection. They're about progress, presence, and the quiet courage it takes to keep showing up each day with intention. These insights come from 8 decades of observing real people, family, friends, neighbors, and my own journey through aging. By the end, you may see yourself in a new light, not just surviving, but thriving in ways that truly matter. Let's start with number 1, moving without pain. For someone younger, walking from room to room, climbing stairs, or reaching for a coffee cup on the top shelf might seem ordinary. But after 71, those same motions can feel like battles. If you're still able to move around without sharp jolts in your knees, an aching back, or stiff hips, that's not just good, it's extraordinary. Pain limits more than motion. It limits joy, connection, and confidence. I've seen too many people slowly surrender to it, shrinking their worlds one step at a time. First, the morning walks stop. Then it's the grocery trips. Soon, even standing up feels like a chore, and the recliner becomes a permanent home. But if your body still grants you the freedom to move without fear, you've preserved something vital. You're not just mobile, you're in control. I remember Harold, an 82-year-old neighbor who walked every morning without fail. His knees gave him trouble, but he walked anyway, saying, "If I stop walking, I'm afraid I'll forget how to live." That stuck with me. His steps weren't just physical, they were symbolic. Each one was a declaration that he was still here, still living, still choosing motion over stagnation. So if you can still move without grimacing, you're not just doing okay. You're winning. Number 2, sleeping peacefully through the night. This might seem small, but restful sleep becomes a rare treasure as we age. If you're over 71 and still able to drift off without tossing and turning, wake up refreshed instead of foggy, and make it through the night without constant trips to the bathroom or lying awake for hours, you are quietly defying one of aging's most frustrating battles. Sleep is the body's repair shop. It heals, resets, and restores everything from your immune system to your mood. Without it, everything feels harder. Thinking clearly, staying upbeat, even digesting food properly. Poor sleep chips away at your patience and resilience, and for many older adults, it's the root cause of irritability, confusion, and even depression. But if your nights are still peaceful, that's a sign that your body and mind are working in harmony. It's a quiet strength, but it makes all the difference in how you face the day. Waking up clear-headed, with enough energy to move, think, and enjoy life is not just a blessing, it's a sign you're doing better than most people realize. The truth is, these small victories, mobility without pain, sleep without struggle, aren't small at all. They're pillars of well-being that often go unnoticed until they're gone. If you've held on to them past 71, you've preserved more than just function, you've preserved freedom. You've maintained a kind of dignity and control that many quietly wish they still had. And this is only the beginning. The next 3 signs are just as powerful, just as encouraging, and just as quietly victorious. So stick around. You might just discover that your ordinary routines are extraordinary achievements in disguise. Your mood, your memory, your immune system, even your sense of hope, can quietly unravel when your nights become restless and broken. It's one of those struggles that people rarely talk about. Waking up 4 or 5 times a night, tossing and turning for hours, staring at the ceiling in silence. It starts to feel normal, even expected, after a certain age. But just because it's common doesn't mean it's okay. Sleep is not a luxury in your 70s and beyond, it's a necessity. When your body can still sink into deep, uninterrupted rest, when your mind isn't haunted by racing thoughts or pulled back to wakefulness by nagging aches, it means something profound. Your system is still supporting you, still giving you the restoration you need to thrive. Geriatric specialists often say that good sleep after 70 is like hitting the reset button on your entire being. But with it, even someone navigating grief or hardship can find emotional balance and strength again. I think of my neighbor Carol, now 79, who used to wake every 2 hours, mind spinning with worry and regret. But she made small, steady changes, cutting out late caffeine, stretching gently before bed, turning off the evening news, and slowly her nights grew calmer. She once told me, "When I sleep well, I wake up feeling like myself again." That's the magic of restful sleep. It doesn't just restore your body, it brings you back to yourself. And perhaps even more importantly, sleep is a mirror of your inner world. When your mind is at peace, when you've let go of bitterness, resentment, and fear, your body follows, your soul relaxes. That kind of sleep is more than physical, it's emotional, even spiritual. So if you're someone who still drifts off peacefully, even with a few middle-of-the-night wake-ups, you're holding on to something incredibly rare: the ability to reset and repair from the inside out. You're not just resting, you're reclaiming strength every night, and that makes you a quiet warrior in a noisy world. Now let's talk about the third sign you're doing better than you think after 71, finding joy in the small things. In our younger years, life tends to be about the big moments, the weddings, the promotions, the milestones we chase with urgency. But after a certain age, those major events slow down. What we're left with are the small, seemingly ordinary parts of life. And the remarkable thing is, if you still find joy in them. A steaming cup of coffee, the chirp of birds at sunrise, the laughter of a grandchild, the quiet thrill of a jigsaw puzzle, you've tapped into a kind of wisdom that many never reach. Because real happiness, lasting happiness, isn't about fireworks or trophies. It's about noticing and appreciating the quiet beauty of now. Emotional resilience is the name psychologists give to this strength. It's the ability to shift your focus away from what's lost and toward what's left. And the seniors who do this, who find joy even while carrying grief or facing limitations, are not just coping. They're thriving. They've developed the incredible skill of presence, of living in this exact moment without clinging to the past or fearing the future. That kind of joy isn't loud. It's soft. It arrives in warm glances and slow mornings, in the smell of your favorite meal cooking, in the simple gratitude of watching something bloom. If your heart still stirs at these things, if you still smile just because the sky looked nice today, then you're not just aging well, you're mastering the art of life. I think of my old friend Walter, 85 years old, who lives alone but swears his best days are now. Not because he travels the world or throws lavish parties, but because every morning he opens his window, listens to the wind moving through the trees, and whispers to himself, "Still here, still grateful." He doesn't need fireworks to feel alive. He needs only a moment of quiet beauty to remind him that life is still worth showing up for. As we age, it becomes easier to view the world through the lens of loss, what's behind us, what we can no longer do, the people we miss. But if you can still laugh at a corny joke, still get goosebumps from your favorite song, or still feel awe when the sky turns pink at sunset, then your soul is alive and well. And that is no small thing. That's emotional maturity in its purest form. Joy in later life isn't loud or showy, it's soft, sometimes silent, a gentle feeling that hums, "This is enough." If you felt that even once in the past week, pause and take that in. That is rare, that is powerful. That is winning in the quietest, most meaningful way. Now let's move to number 4, walking without fear. At first glance, that might not sound like a big deal. But after 71, the ability to walk freely, confidently, and unassisted is one of the strongest signals that your body still supports your freedom. If you can step outside your front door and take a walk, whether it's around the block or just to the mailbox, without clutching furniture or someone's arm, you are far ahead of the curve. Because walking is not just about movement. It's about independence, agency, and trust between your brain and your body. When you know your balance is stable, when your knees don't wobble, and your feet respond like they used to, you feel free. You feel bold, and that confidence extends far beyond your steps. Seniors who maintain their mobility often say yes to more things, yes to meeting friends, yes to leaving the house, yes to life itself. I remember Larry, 82 years old, who took a walk every morning without fail. Rain or shine, slow but steady. He'd smile and say, "As long as I can move my own 2 feet, I'm not done yet." And that belief carried him through more than just sidewalks. It carried him through grief, loneliness, and the uncertainty of old age. Walking strengthens more than just your legs. It boosts circulation, supports your joints, sharpens your brain, and has even been shown to lower the risk of dementia. But beyond all the physical benefits lies something deeper: emotional strength. When you can walk without fear, your spirit walks with you. You approach the world with openness, not caution. You say, "I'm still here and I'm still moving forward." And that is a bold, beautiful thing. It doesn't matter how far or how fast. What matters is that you still can, that you haven't surrendered to the recliner, that your days are still yours to shape. So if you're still able to move through the world on your own 2 feet, take a moment to honor what that means. It's not just good luck. It's the result of every choice you've made to keep showing up, to keep going, and to keep living on your own terms. That quiet strength is what makes you a rare kind of winner, still standing, still walking, still reaching for life. Number 5, adapting to change. If you're over 71 and still able to adjust when life takes a sudden turn, whether it's a health scare, a shift in routine, or the heartbreaking loss of someone dear, then you're not just aging, you're evolving. And that adaptability is one of the clearest, most powerful signs that you're truly winning at life. The truth is, life after 70 is rarely predictable. The routines you once held dear begin to shift. Longtime friends may move or pass on. Your body, once so familiar, starts to surprise you. Even something as seemingly simple as navigating new technology or changes in how things are done can feel like a mountain. But if you've found a way to stay open, to keep learning, to keep moving forward, no matter how slowly, that's more than resilience. That's wisdom in motion. Adaptability isn't just about coping with change. It's about making peace with the present moment. It's the quiet voice inside you that says, "Yes, this is different, but I can work with it." It's saying goodbye to what was while still believing in what's next. That mindset doesn't come from luck. It comes from a lifetime of challenges, growth, and choosing not to shut down. I've known so many inspiring people like this. Seniors who, despite downsizing their homes or facing physical limitations, find joy in small new rituals, like rearranging a cozy new space, learning to text their grandkids, or cooking simple meals for themselves with care. These are not minor things, they're signs of strength, flexibility, and a still burning desire to engage with life. One of my favorite examples is Carol, 84, who had to give up driving. At first, she grieved her independence, but within a week, she had learned the local bus route, joined a senior rideshare program, and even started walking more. "I can't change what happened," she said, "but I can decide how to live with it." That, right there, is the essence of adaptability, the strength to bend without breaking. And it turns out that this kind of emotional flexibility doesn't just help you survive, it helps you thrive. Studies show that seniors who adapt well to change are less likely to suffer from depression or isolation. They feel more in control, more hopeful, more alive. And that inner control, that sense of still steering your own ship, is what keeps your spirit youthful even when your bones say otherwise. So let's zoom out for a moment and reflect on what all of this means. Too many people believe that aging is a slow fade, a descent into irrelevance or helplessness. But that narrative is flat out wrong. Growing older isn't about fading, it's about refining. After 71, if you're still able to move your body with confidence, sleep peacefully, find joy in simple things, walk without fear, and adapt when life shifts beneath you, then you are not just surviving, you are thriving in the ways that matter most. These aren't flashy victories, but they are profound. They're the kind of wins that reveal character, wisdom, grace, and inner strength. Because let's face it, anyone can be strong when life is easy. But to be strong when it's not, that's what makes you remarkable. You've earned your peace. You've earned your perspective. And those things are far more valuable than youth or speed. Aging well isn't about clinging to the past, it's about owning your present. So take a moment to reflect on these 5 signs. Are you doing any of them? Even one? Then you're already ahead of the curve. And if you're still working on the others, guess what? That counts too. Because trying, continuing to grow, is the ultimate proof that you're still in the game. There's still more life in you, more stories to tell, more beauty to witness, more love to give. So don't underestimate where you are. You're not finished. You're not fading, you're becoming. Thank you for spending this time with us. We'd love to hear your thoughts, what resonated most, what you've learned, and what small changes you're making in your own life. Please leave a comment and share your story. And if you found this message uplifting, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who might need a little encouragement today. Your support helps us keep creating heartfelt, helpful content that honors the strength, wisdom, and quiet victories of every season of life. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and keep showing up.